good morning. Today, I think is day 8 of the internship, and today is 27th September 2021. So now we will put in a little bit of mathematics today. We have done very simple. So we will put a little. My screen is not visible. I have done the screen share. The screen is visible. It is visible because I can see the screen. I can see the screen. It's visible. Just check up, Shashank. Maybe you just log out and log in again in case you are not able to see. Yes, yes. 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 So what we have basically seen LTI systems, and we saw how to convert from the differential equation to other forms of representation. So for example, suppose I have let us say we have we have the differential equation. For example, let us say the differential equation is say d square by dt square y of t plus say 1.414 d by dt of y of t plus y of t equal to say x of t. This is one representation, and when we take the Laplace transform of the above, what we get is s square plus 1.414s plus 1 into y of s equal to x of s, and that gives us h of s, which is the transfer function y by x, and that is given by 1 by s square plus 1.414 s plus 1. This is something we have seen, and from the Laplace transfer function h of s, one possibility is suppose I want the impulse response. If we want the impulse response h of t, one method of doing it is simply to compute the inverse Laplace transform of h of s. So if I do the inverse Laplace transform of h of s, I can get h of t. So we need to do this. It's one method of doing it is to express it as partial fractions. So s by s minus s1 plus let us say b by s minus s2 and so on, and then we can directly get h of t as this is just a theory, a e to the power of minus s1 t plus s plus a you see power minus, so minus will be plus, yes, e to the power of s2t and whole multiplied by u of t, whole multiplied by u of t. So this is one method of getting the impulse response. Another method, and So converting to partial fraction, all of us know, and we can get it. The other method of, if I call this as say 3 impulse response only, let me call this as say 3A, and let me put 3B. What is 3B? 3B is getting the impulse response h of t from the Fourier transform. So if I can also get the impulse response h of t as the inverse Fourier transform of h of omega. And what is h of omega? Well, I should have put that earlier. And the Fourier transform. And I'm sure all of us know the relationship. So if I have x of t, or okay, if I have h of t, so h of omega, the Fourier transform by integration is given by integral minus infinity to infinity h of t e to the power of minus j omega t dt. And the inverse of Fourier transform is given by 1 by 2 pi integral minus infinity to infinity h of omega e to the power of j omega t d omega. So we know h of omega. So from h of omega we can evaluate this integral, and then we can get h of t. And we also have some programs for doing integration, and hence that is possible. So to get the same result, there may be different methods. And of course, another method is another method of doing the same impulse response 3C. If I say impulse response h of t, I can directly solve the differential equation. I can solve the differential equation putting my input x of t equal to delta t and try to solve it, and then the output what I get, I put x of t is delta t, then y of t whatever it is, it will give me h of t. So when I solve the differential equation also I can get the impulse response. So there are different methods of getting the impulse response, and it depends on the problem, it depends on the situation, you can compute the if we look at the Fourier transform or the frequency response of the system h of omega. We have seen this, and what is h of omega? We can directly get it from h of s by putting s equal to j omega. So if I look at h of s, and then I put only the imaginary component, so I will get the frequency response. So and we know the expression yes. Next, if we look at the pole zero plot, we have seen the pole zero plot. From pole zero plot on the S plane, we were having the real and imaginary, and then we were able to tell whether the system is stable or unstable. So this will have some poles and some zeros. They all appear in complex conjugate pairs, and zeros can lie anywhere. This is an example of a stable system. Only poles we look at. We do not look at the zeros, and then we get the pole zero plot. Now I have a question for someone who is following very carefully, and this is a very, I would tell, an intelligent question, or question very few can answer. I'll put it that way. Can someone tell me if I look at this S plane, can you tell me where do you think our frequency response h omega is? Can you identify the location of h of omega on the S-plane? It's a difficult question. It's extremely difficult question. Maybe nobody will be able to answer. It's I've not covered it, but at the same time, if you have followed whatever we have done till now, now if you just look at the previous step, what is H omega? And this is H of S. We are representing H of S as in the S plane by pole zero plot. Now, and we said H omega is a very small component of H of S. So can someone think it over, or just use your intelligence, or just to use your analytical skills and tell me, where do you think is H omega, and can from the S plane, or which component can help me get the S the H omega. Very good, Lakshmi. Very good, very good. So it's see, if we normally, what is my S? My S is a complex number, sigma plus j omega. This is the usual notation. Books normally use sigma for the real component and j omega for the imaginary component. So if I look at my S plane, which is my j omega is nothing but the imaginary axis. So when I walk around my imaginary axis, if I go around my imaginary axis on the S plane, I can get my frequency response. And how should I go around? How should I go around? This is just for if you follow, it's fine. If you don't follow, don't worry. I will sit here. I will sit at the origin. I will compute the distance of all the zeros from this point, and I'll put on the numerator. I will compute the distance of the poles from this point and put on the denominator, and I will get the frequency response at omega equal to 0. If I want to go here, and let us say I put omega equal to some pi, I go to another point. Again compute the distance of all the zeros from that point on the imaginary axis. On the numerator, from the denominator, I'm going to put the distance of all the poles from that point, and that ratio will give me H of omega. So literally it is walking along the imaginary axis from minus infinity to plus infinity. You go in this direction, and as you walk, at every point you stop and compute the ratio. And the ratio, if I take this as take this distance, take this distance, take this distance, take this distance, let me call this as say Z1, say Z2, say P1, P1, P2, etc. And so Z1, Z2 divided by P1, P2. So, and then that will give me the value at, if I call this as omega 1, Z of omega 1. So this way I keep walking from minus infinity to plus infinity. And when I do that, if it is a low pass filter, I'm likely to get it this way. So it's actually from the pole zero plot also, I can make the calculation of the frequency response. So that's very good. So Lakshmi has answered it. So otherwise, don't worry about this computation. We know how to compute H of omega given omega. We know to put the values. But please remember, remember this this diagram. That is, if I have say if I have the Laplace transform of some any function, because you may have the Laplace transform of a signal, and if it is mathematics, you will have Laplace transform of a function. And the Fourier transform is a smaller subset, because Fourier transform is considering only the imaginary component. So the Fourier transform is a smaller subset of Laplace transform. So if you give me Laplace transform, I can tell you what is the Fourier transform. Do you think the other way is possible? If I give you the Fourier transform of a signal, can you tell me what is the Laplace transform? Is it possible or no? If I give the Fourier transform of a signal, can you tell me what is the Laplace transform? Do you think it's possible? Yes or no? Yes. Any guess? From Laplace transform, I can get the Fourier transform. Do you think the other converse is also possible? From Fourier transform, can I get Laplace transform? We cannot get. We cannot get. This is not possible. This is not possible because it is a subset. Because Fourier transform is a subset. So from Laplace transform, we can get Fourier transform. But from Fourier transform, this we cannot get. We cannot get the Laplace transform because I do not know what the real component is. I cannot assume a real component. So always remember, Laplace transform is a bigger or a more wider transform as compared to the Fourier transform. This is just for completeness. And then we saw the next representation, or let us say the hardware implementation. The hardware implementation. Now here what we have is, we saw in the programs, suppose I simply write, out of fun, I just write 2s plus 3 and divided by say s square plus 5s plus 6. If I simply do like this, and I can convert from here to the differential equation if required. I can do all the conversion. I can do the pole zero plot. And do you think this is going to be a low pass filter or a high pass filter? It may give me a good filter. If someone is having the Python code, can you put these constants and tell me what type of a filter we are getting? Just put these constants 2 and 3 and say 1, 5, 6. So in the Python code, I need to put my numerator as 2, 3, and in the denominator, I need to put denominator as 1, 1, 5, 6. Please run the code and tell me what you're getting. What you're getting? Are we getting? I just arbitrarily written some numbers. And please tell me, are you getting a low pass filter? Are you getting a high pass filter? What are you getting? 2, 3, 1, 5, 6. Okay, let us, I'm not sure whether I have the program. Let's check it. You can also try. You can also try running it just to know the. I'm trying to open my program. It takes time. My system is a bit slow. So we have the old code that was there. So let's see whether we can run the old code. This code is available with all of you. I have shared it. I've shared it. So let's run and check. So I will run it. I will run this code, and what I have to first run my cell. My first cell. Then I need to run the function which has the pole zero plot. I will run the pole zero plot function. I also have to run the function which has the frequency response. I will run this function as well. And then now I will take a new example. I will take a new example. And what is my example now? Let us take a new example. And let's put put this as say another example. Another example. And what is my numerator? I said 2s. What was the function that we had taken? 2s plus 3 and 1, 5, 6. So 2s plus 3, and my denominator is 1, 5, and 6. So this is my transfer function I'm speaking of. So my numerator I have to give it as 2, 3, and my denominator I have to give it as 1, 5, 6. And let us see what is what I get. I have just put some numbers, and I really do not know whether it's a low pass, high pass. I just arbitrarily put some numbers, and let us see what we are getting. We are getting the response. What do you conclude now? Is this a low pass filter? Is it a high pass filter? Is it a low pass or is it a high pass filter? I'm sure you also, all of you have tried it. What are you getting this as? It's a low pass filter, yes. So we have done arbitrarily, and then we got this. Now please follow carefully. Please follow carefully. What if I change and so I have two poles and I have the zeros in this manner. And now I will just make a change in the sign. Let me change 5 as minus 5, and let me run it, and let me run and see what I get. What has changed is the phase response has changed, and how about the poles now? Poles have come to the right hand side, right half side. So is the system stable or unstable now? I changed my plus to a minus sign, and then what happened to the poles? The poles have now come to the right half of the S-plane. So is this stable or unstable? The system is now unstable. Very good. So we these two figures together will help us understand a lot, and hence let us not have it as negative, because let me have the coefficients as positive. Then my both the poles are in the left half, and it is some meaningful design. Now let me go back. Now please, I'll copy the same program, and please, I hope you're following. I will take one more cell. I'll put it in another cell, and please follow this. I will go back to my my numerator. I'll keep it as just 1, and a square plus 1.414 is plus 1. And so my numerator is 1. My denominator is 1.414 and 1. Let me run this, and let us see how the response is. I have two poles, and this is what I have my responses. Now tell me which was a better filter. Is this a better filter, or the earlier one is a better filter? I will just change my frequency as -5 to +5, and see, will we agree that this coefficient of 1.414 and 1 is a better filter than the earlier case? Do you all agree to that? Do you all agree to that? How many of you are having your Python codes open, and you will be able to run it as I tell? If anyone is having this just what we said the other day, if you're having, please tell yes. Then I will give you another number, and I want you to try and share the result with me. You're going to see a very important example now from the same code that we used last class. Are you having the Python code in front of you? Are you having this working program in front of you? I've anyway shared the working code with you all. Are you having it? Are you having it? Anyone? Anyone? Are you having this code open, and can I give you some other number, and can you try it? Or can you try it? Yes, no one is confirming. Does it mean that nobody is having this code in front of you? Okay, if that is the case, I will simply show you now. Now you see, I assume that no one is having the code in front of you. So I run this code, and this is what I get. This is what I get. Now see, I'm going to make a very small change in the system, and what I will do is I will make my numerator as, instead of 1, I'll make my numerator as s square. I'll make my numerator as s square. If I make my numerator as s square, what should be my numerator polynomial? Can someone tell me what should be my numerator polynomial? I am making my numerator as s square. I am making my numerator as s square. Please tell me what should be my numerator polynomial now. Yes. 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 So now it should be 1, 0, 0. If I make my numerator polynomial as s square, then my numerator polynomial becomes 1, 0, 0. And now let me run the program, and then let us see what happens now. Now tell me what has happened. What has happened to the system? Earlier, what filter it was, and now what is the filter? Earlier it was a low pass filter. What is the filter now? It's a high pass. So you saw that all that we did was we just changed the coefficient. Thank you, Ambika, and thank you, Abhinav. So a small change. We had a transfer function. It was 1 by s square plus something. Now I just made it as s square. And when I made this small change, my low pass filter got converted to a high pass filter. So this is an observation we have. So let's continue with the theory. So in general, what happens is, given a transfer function h of s, we can classify it as low pass, high pass, etc. by implementation, and this component becomes analysis. All this is analysis. This is analysis because we are given the differential equation, given the transfer function, and then we analyze and tell whether it's a low pass or a high pass or nothing, just an arbitrary response. We say whether it is stable or unstable, and we can also predict. We can also predict, or we can calculate the output for any other input that is given. Now, let us say we do not want to do any analysis, but we want to do design. We want to do design. What is design? Design means we have to give the transfer function. We have to give the transfer function. We have to obtain the transfer function h of s, or we have to give the circuit that will give us the system. Suppose I say I want a good second order filter, with some cutoff omega c equal to say 1. If I say I want a filter with the second order filter with the cutoff of omega c equal to 1. So now we are given the specifications, and then we have to come out with the design, and that is the design component. And one set of filters which are very popular for analog design is Butterworth filter. Is the Butterworth filter, and there are other filters as well. We have the elliptic filter, then we have the Chebyshev filter. So those who are interested can look and read other types of filters, but we will consider the Butterworth filter, because Butterworth filter, the advantage is, if I have h of omega and versus omega, if this is my first order filter, this is say for n equal to 1, and let us say I take n equal to 2. This is say for n equal to say 3, and let us say n equal to 5. This is say for n equal to 5. So what happens is, it is smooth. It is smooth in the pass band. It is smooth in the stop band, and the trans frequency. It will not have like this ripples anywhere. it is very smooth and there won't be ups and downs. It will not have ups and downs in the stop band either. So usually Butterworth filter becomes a very easy design, and I will share the typed content also regarding Butterworth filter design for those who are interested. We have, and if we look at first order, Butterworth first order filter, H of S is given by 1 by S plus 1. Similarly, if we want to get the second order Butterworth filter, S square plus 1.414 S plus 1. And if I want a third order filter, that is given by 1 by S plus 1 into S square plus S plus 1, which becomes 1 by S square plus 2S, 1 by S cube plus 2S square plus 2S plus 1. This is my third order filter. And if you just do a Google search on Butterworth filters, you will get the transfer functions. Can someone tell me for the fourth order what is it? S square plus something into S plus 1 into S square plus something into S plus 1. Can someone help me? Can Abhinav, can you do the Google search and then tell me what is the fourth order Butterworth polynomial? What is this constant? I think 0.786 and 1.8. Can you just check it, or you want me to do it? These are standard polynomials. If you refer to any textbook, you need not remember these values. How to derive this? If you want to derive it, I've shared that YouTube link, and you can get it. You can get it. Anyone? Can Ambika help me? Can Ananya and Saranya help me? The fourth order Butterworth polynomial. Just type in your search the fourth order Butterworth polynomial, and you will get it. Thank you, Ambika. Yes, I vaguely remembered. Thank you. So 0.765 and 1.848. Thank you. Thank you, Shashank. Yes. So we have these constants, and how to get it there in the videos which I have shared. I will also share you with some typed content. You can refer if you are interested. So now the whole idea is, finally, if I'm doing some analog, I'm working on some analog systems, and then I have to be able to design and implement. So otherwise, there is no point in all this mathematics that we have done. We saw impulse response, step response, the pole zero plot, frequency response. All these are theory and mathematical concepts. And what is real is the physical system that exists, that I can create, that I can touch, I can feel. So the physical system is the real system, and we should be able to design it. So at least one type of filter, we saw an example RC, we saw one very simple RC circuit, and at the RC circuit is something people do in the first semester or third semester, and this is not our filter that we are looking at. We are looking at much better, much realistic filters. So now all these, similarly, you can go for fifth order, 10th order, any order filter. So we will focus on now what we are going to try is how we will implement each of these Butterworth filters in our multisim live, so that we want to be able to convert the given equation to a circuit and implement the circuit, so that we have a filter with us. So tomorrow Maybe in your project you want the students who are in the second year, maybe when you come the final year you need a filter. Don't put an RC filter until you have a filter. You should know which is the order of the filter. Do you need a second order filter? Do we need a third order filter? And how to implement it. So that is something that is what we need, and everyone should be capable of doing that. So now I will give. So all these examples that are given, these are the above. I mean, let me make it a little clearer. Let me emphasize the component here. All above, all above transfer function H of S correspond to a low pass filter. Correspond to a low pass filter with cutoff omega c equal to 1 radian per second. Omega is always in radians per second. 1 radian per second. This is what the above is. Now suppose I want a low pass filter with let us say omega c equal to 10. I do not want I do not want a low filter with a cutoff 1, because if I'm speaking, if I look at my human voice, it goes up to 5 kilohertz. And then if I convert my 5 kilohertz into omega, that will be 2 pi f, 2 into pi into 5 kilohertz. So depending on the application, suppose electrical, we are also having some students who are in the from the electrical domain. The electrical students may want to filter out the power supply noise. So they want to have a filter which will remove the 50 hertz signal, or they want only the 50 hertz to pass through. So they want a high pass filter which will remove anything above 60 hertz. So depending on the application, each of us, and if we have some other students from the biomedical domain, they will tell, I want to capture the heartbeat. They tell, I don't want the noise because of the heartbeat, I want the other signal. So because when you do the brain signal, you will have some interference from the other components. So you need and let us say I'm talking, and then suddenly there is some aircraft that goes up, and that noise comes in, and then we want to have a very good quality recording. I want to remove that noise, so I will put a low pass filter which will pass only my voice. And let us say you both are having a nice musical program, and then you find my voice is interfering, so you want to remove my lecture. You can, so what should be the filter, what should be the order, this depends on the application. And usually there is a need to filter. I mean, even though the whole world is going into digital technology is digital, and we have all processors, we have your mobile phone, you have your computers, everything work on digital, but the basic signal is still analog. I speak analog, we hear finally what we hear. The ears also can hear only the final final signal is analog. What goes on, like even if you look at your electromagnetic waves that are transmitted from the antenna, they are all pure sinusoidal signals that carry the message. So everything is analog. And so design of analog filters is extremely important. So all of us should know how to design an analog filter. So now coming back to the question, so it is do not think that we are computer engineers, so we don't need to do analog filters, or we are mechanical engineers. So mechanical people also will have their signals, say they are capturing the speed of a motor, and they'll have so much of background noise, and they want that noise to be removed. And so there is a need for a filter, and because all practical signals are analog, we normally, whenever you have a device which collects the signal, you will have a filter at the point of collection of the data itself, so that the captured signal is good. So now coming back, so let us say we want to design a low pass filter with some cutoff omega c. Omega c may be 10, maybe 100, maybe 1000, maybe 10,000, maybe anything. So depending on omega c, I can and the very simple step. So whatever transfer function we have h of s above, you simply change it to h of, you consider the transfer function h of s. You simply replace s by omega c, and then we will have the transfer function of the filter that has a cutoff of omega c. For example, if I am looking at the second order filter, or for example, if I'm looking at the first order filter, the first order filter, If I'm looking at the first order filter, I say I have my, what is my first order filter? H of S was 1 by S plus 1. This was the filter for omega C with the cutoff of 1. But now I want omega C with a cutoff of 10. So I have to simply replace S by S plus 10. And then what I have is a filter with the cutoff of omega C equal to 10. And then what is my transfer function now? 10 by S plus 10. That's it. So this is my filter with a cutoff of 10. Let's take another example. Let us say I want a second order low pass filter with the cutoff omega C equal to say 50. Then what should I do? I take my second order transfer function. And from where do I get this second order transfer function? Standard books, anywhere you will get. Anywhere you will get. And what is my second order transfer function? 1 by S square plus 1.414S plus 1. This is my second order transfer function. And what is the cutoff of this? This has a cutoff of omega C equal to 1. Now suppose I want H of S with the cutoff of omega C equal to 50. I have to just replace S by 50 whole square plus 1.414 S by 50 plus 1. And you know how to change your numerator polynomial, denominator polynomial accordingly in the Python function, and you will get the plot. And this is going to give me a low pass filter with omega C equal to 50. So this is transforming this is known as the prototype. These what we have seen earlier, this is known as the prototype. So the prototype filter can be converted to another low pass filter of any other transfer function, any other cutoff. Similarly, if I am looking at say a high pass filter, if I want to get a high pass filter, sorry, if I want to get a high pass filter, I have to just take the prototype, the prototype function, and take H of S. And what's the transformation I should do? Instead of replacing S by omega C, I have to replace S by omega C by S. I replace S by omega C by S, and then what I will get is a high pass filter. For example, suppose I'm looking at say say the third order low pass filter. I want a third order. Let us say our requirement is a third order high pass filter. Third order high pass filter with the cutoff omega C equal to say 5. I want a third order high pass filter with the cutoff omega C equal to 5. And what is my H of S of the third order? The third order H of S, say the prototype is 1 by S plus 1 into S square plus S plus 1. And this, these polynomials you can do a Google search and get. You will not get the Google search of what we are discussing now. The hardware implementation, you will get it, but it takes a little time to do the search. So it's better we know to do it ourselves. So now let us say I want a H of S, which is a high pass filter, and with the cutoff of omega C equal to 5. What should I do? I have to just replace S. Replace S by 5 by S plus 1. And this will be 5 by S whole square plus 5 by S plus 1. You can do this. You can run your code in Python and get the frequency response. So this is how we can convert the transfer function into high pass or a low pass filter. So this is again theory. Now I'm sure everyone is excited and how to implement it in this circuit. So now I will give you, so given we have, now let us see how to do the hardware implementation. So we want to do the hardware implementation of the filter, which is nothing but the transfer function H of S. Once I have H of S, I need to be able to convert it to the filter, to the hardware implementation. And what is hardware implementation? Components, physical components that we take and implement. And yes, so now if I take normally the order of a filter is either odd or even. It cannot be anything else. It can be first order, second order, third order, fourth order, etc. So if the first order filter, I will implement one stage H of S. Suppose it's a second order filter, I will implement it as a second order filter. If it is a third order filter, what I will do, I will implement it as a product of H of S and H of S. This will be order 1 and this will be order 2. Suppose it's a fourth order filter, what will I do? I will implement it as two filters of each of second order. If it is say fifth order, what will happen? I will have one first order stage. I will have one first order stage and two second order stages. So I'll have one first order stage and two second order stages. So given any order, so we know to get the transfer function H of S from H of S, it is either odd or even. If it's odd, it will have one odd and one even state. And if it is even, it will have corresponding number of even stages. So now let us see how to implement the basic first order system and how to implement the basic second order system. So please note it. And in the lab session, we are going to implement the first, second, third, fourth order filter. And we are going to see something extremely exciting after implementing the fourth order filter. We'll see something that you will be so surprised at the result and we will understand the result in tomorrow's class. So we're going to see that. So that's going to be very interesting. So now let us see how to implement, because any order is either odd or even, and whatever is the order, it will have a cascade. You can connect it in stages. You connect like this. You connect like this, and each of them is either a first order or a second order, depending on the actual order of the system. So you connect the systems in cascade, say H1S, H2S, and so on. H2S and H3S and so on. So this way we can implement. So now let us look at what is the basic first order system. So let us look at the proof. The proof we will not do it, but the notes which I'm going to share, a typed content which I'm going to share, it has all the proof, everything. So any interested students can refer to the notes and you can see it. Or I may upload it in. I'm not sure whether you have already uploaded in the college website. I will share the link of that. So we normally use operational amplifiers. This is connected to ground, and this is the negative terminal, inverting terminal, and this is the non-inverting terminal, and this is my resistor, and this is my capacitor. This is the capacitor, this is the resistor, this is my input, and here is my output. This is my first order stage. And what is the transfer function of this H of S? Is some constant, let us say A naught gain by S by omega C plus 1. So this is the transfer function of this system. What is omega C? Omega C is my cutoff frequency of the low pass filter, and it is given by 1 by RC. And can someone help me with the gain? What is A naught? The electronic students, can someone tell me what is the gain in terms of R1 and R2? The electronic students, what is the gain? No, this is slightly different. I know you're a computer science student. Yes, so you can check the circuit. You can check on the website. Any other answers? Any other answers? Yes. Any other answers? What is the gain? What is the gain of this system? What is the gain of this system? Because we have to implement it in the lab. We are going to implement it in the post-lunch session. We will be implementing these Butterworth filters. Yes? Any answers? It is R1 plus R2 by R1. So this is what we have. So if I want a filter with the gain of, let us say the question is design a low pass filter. Design a low pass filter with the cutoff frequency omega c equal to 10, and let us say the gain equal to 3. Suppose this is a problem. Then what should you do now? What is my cutoff frequency? Omega c is given by 1 by RC is equal to 10. So now I have R and C, two unknowns, and I have only one equation. So what I will do, I will put my C is equal to, let us say, 1 microfarad. Usually capacitance are in microfarad. If I put C equal to 1 microfarad, 1 by RC equal to 10. Can someone help me and tell me what is R? Or can someone calculate and tell me the value of R? Yes. I want to design a filter. Yes. Shashank says it is 10 to the power of 5. Is he right? Someone else please confirm. Or I can put it as 100 kilo ohm. Can someone else confirm if Shashank has done it right? So because we have two unknown, it's correct. Okay. Thank you, Lakshmi, for confirming. Thank you. Yes. Yes. Saranya, yes, thank you. So all are getting the same answer. And do you think everyone will get the same answer? No, if I were to choose C as something else, if I had chosen C as some other value, R will be something else. But what is constant is the product. RC, the product RC is constant. Similarly, what is the gain that I want? I want a gain of 3. So I want a gain of 3. What we are given is gain equal to 3. And what is the formula for gain? R1 plus R2 by R1. Once again, we have two unknowns, R1 and R2, and we have only one equation. So how do we do? Let us say I assume R1 is 1 kilo ohm. Please tell me what is R2. I assume R1 is 1 kilo ohm. What is R2? Yes. Yes. So you saw? So we get R2 as 2 kilo ohm. We get R2 as 2K. So though we have only two equations, you saw that we can compute the value and we can get the filter. So now if I change my cutoff frequency, what will you change? You will change the value of, if I change my cutoff frequency, accordingly my R and C is going to change. So this was our example 1. This was our example 1. Let us say now instead of a low pass filter, say I want a high pass filter. So I want a high pass filter. Second example, let us say I want a high pass filter. I want a high pass filter with a cutoff omega c equal to, say I keep the same omega c as 10, and I keep my gain again as say same 3. I keep everything same. No, but now I'm changing. So what was our transfer function? Our transfer function, we said I need to replace S by omega c by S. And in the hardware implementation, you have to interchange R and C. Interchange R and C. So let's draw the circuit. So I have my R1 and then I have my R2. This is my circuit. This is my negative inverting terminal, non-inverting terminal. I have my ground and I have to interchange the resistor and capacitor because it's a high pass filter. And this is what I have. This is what I have R, and then I have my C, and this is my input, and this is my output V0. This is my input Vi. What did you say was R1? You said R1. R1 is 1 kilo ohm, and we said R2. R2 is 2 kilo ohm, and then I get a gain of 3. And what was C? C we said is 1 microfarad, 1 microfarad, and then what is R? R you said was 100 kilo ohm. So this is how I can convert the transfer function to a circuit implementation, and we will implement it in multisim and see the result. So this is how any odd filter, any odd order filter has one first order stage, and we will have it. Now let us see how to implement the even order system. So let's take the second order system, the second order hardware implementation of the op-amp circuit, the second order system. So then the second order, the reference for this is I've taken the circuits, this circuit implementation I've taken it from the book on analog, I think integrated circuits from Millman and Halkias. You can refer to the book by Millman Halkias, a standard book for electronic circuit design, and then we're looking at a second order system. So I will have R, and then I will have a C. Please remember this C gets connected to the ground, and there is one more C, and this C gets connected to the output. This is my second order system. This is say R1, and this is R2, and this is my R, this is R, and this is C, and this is C. And this is my input, and this is my output V0. This is my output V0. Now here, what is the transfer function of this circuit if you ask me? The transfer function of the above is given by, once again, let us say A0, some gain, and this is given by S by omega C whole square. This is a low pass filter, plus 3 minus A0 S by omega C plus 1. This is how you can, the proof I'll be sharing, you can go through, you can refer, you can derive it. Those who are very good in circuit analysis will be able to derive the transfer function, because we know certain properties of the operational amplifiers. Otherwise, those who are not so comfortable with doing and getting the transfer function, this derivation takes about more than a page, and I will share the content. So this is how, this is most important. How is my transfer function? S by omega C whole square, 3 minus A0, S by omega C plus 1, and A0. So now, for example, and so this is my transfer. And once again, we have omega C doesn't change. The expression for omega C is always 1 by RC, whether it's first order, second order, third order. And the beauty is, if I have a 10th order filter, I have 10 resistors, 10 capacitors. All the resistors will be same value. All the capacitors will be same value. We don't have to design. We don't have 10 simultaneous equations and then solve for 10 unknowns. No, it's very very simple that way. And now, for example, now suppose I have a transfer function, and once again the gain. What is the expression for the gain? A0. A0 is once again given by R1 plus R2 by R1. The only catch here in the even for a system is this one. So now suppose I have my transfer function h of s. Let us say I have the from my Butterworth polynomial. Suppose I have my h of s as say a naught let us say my Butterworth polynomial second order is given by s square plus 1.414s plus 1. And if I try to implement a second order Butterworth, or if I want to implement in circuit, can someone tell me what should be the gain I should choose for implementing the second order system? Is the question clear? This is my transfer function. What is this transfer function? This is the transfer function of the circuit that we have drawn. A second order system. This is the transfer function. And now I want, okay, I will not put this as a naught. I need to select a naught. So now if I want to select my a naught, what should I select my a naught to be? Okay, I'll leave it as a naught. What should be my a naught? If my polynomial is s square plus 1.414s plus 1, what should be a naught? Anyone? Anyone? What is my equation here? Very good, very good. So my gain can be 3 minus 1.414. Very good, Shashank. So how much will I get it as? 1.586. So for a second order system, the gain depends on the polynomial coefficients. Look at the polynomial, look at the coefficient, and then do it. And so now if I want to implement a second order system, let us say we want to implement a second order system with the cutoff omega c equal to say 6000 pi. No, let us say omega. I will change my specification. Let us say my cutoff frequency fc is equal to 1 kilohertz. And gain is not specified. So gain not specified. Let us say gain is not specified. So we have the freedom to choose any gain we want. So what's the first? This is my example. I want to design a second order low pass filter, with the cutoff of 1 kilohertz, and gain is not specified. So now because gain is not specified, I can choose any gain I want. What is the gain? Because my transfer function h of s is 1 by s square plus 1.414s plus 1. And when I put 3 minus 1.414 equal to gain, I get my gain a naught as 1.586. Yes, so then my equation doesn't change. What is my gain? R1 plus R2 by R1. So now I will once again select my R1. I'll select my R1 as 1 kilo ohm, and in which case what will be my R2 be? If I select my R1 as 1 kilo ohm, my gain is 1.586. What should be my R2? Yes, very good. 586 ohms. I'll get my resistor as 586 ohms. So the gain, DC gain part we have finished. Now I have to implement. What is given? FC is given as 1 kilohertz. The cutoff frequency is given as FC is given as 1 kilohertz. So what is omega C? What is omega C? 2 pi FC. And what is omega C? My design equation is RC. So once again, FC is given. What is FC? So I have my 1 by RC equal to 2 pi FC. How much is FC? 1 kilohertz. This is what I have. And once again, I will let my, I normally assume capacitor C equal to say 1 microfarad. And then please tell me what is the value of R. I will let my C equal to 1 microfarad. What is the value of R? what is the value of R? Yes, please tell me the value of R. My FC is 1 kilohertz. 1 by RC is 2 by FC. I'm selecting yes. Yes, thank you, Saranya. Let's wait for 1 or 2 more to give the answer. So then I have my circuit. Let me get my circuit. Let me get my circuit below. So then I'll put in my values. Yes, anyone else has computed the value of R? Anyone else has computed the value of R? So Saranya says the value is 160 ohms. 160 ohms. So what did we get? What did we get? R1 as 1K, R2 as 586 ohms. Just check it. 160 ohms. You will get R as 160 ohm and C is 1 microfarad. Let me just check it whether check it once again, otherwise I will change it. C is 1 microfarad. So this is how I have. If I change my cutoff frequency, what will change? My product RC will change. Now, if I want to make it a high pass filter, what will happen? I will interchange wherever resistor is there. I'll put capacitor. Capacitors, I'll put resistor. I'll have a high pass filter. Now, so this way, just look at. Let us say I want to do the third order system. If I want to do a third order system, what should I do? If I want to do a third order low pass filter with the cutoff omega c equal to, again let us say my cutoff frequency fc equal to 1 kilohertz. So now I will put a first order system and then I will put a second order system. Let us say H1 S and H2S. And what is H1S? 1 by S plus 1. What is H2S? Look at your S square plus S plus 1. So now resistor, we know how to do the first order system. We know how to do the second order system. And we know to do everything. We know to do the gain. Can someone tell me what should be the gain of the second order system? What should be the gain of the second order system? Look at the polynomial and tell me what is the gain? Gain will be 3 minus what?
Is video visible now for students?
Yeah.
For all of his internet went 10 minutes back.
Oh.
I don't know. So just ask them, is it real?
They're answering. They're answering. Video, I cannot see the video, but they're answering. So I think, am I visible? Am I visible?
Go to the participants now.
Yeah, they can see. Yes. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Because here there was some, thank you. So 3 minus 1, I have to design the second order system for a gain of 2. First order, I can choose any gain. Let us say my first order, I choose a gain of, let us say 3. If I choose my this system, this for a gain of 2 and this as a gain of 3, what will be my overall gain? Who can help me? Overall gain. The first stage is going to have a gain of 3. The second stage is going to have a gain of 2. Very good. So overall gain is going to be 3 into 2 and that is going to be 6. Very good. Very good. Very good. So like this, and if I want to do the fourth order system, you saw. And remember, Butterworth polynomials, the polynomials will have a square plus something into s plus 1, and this something will always be less than 3. You will never have the situation that the coefficients of the Butterworth polynomial are something more than 3, and so when you do a 3 minus, you get a negative gain. That situation will never arise, no matter what the order of the filter is. So depending on what is the value, you will get the you can compute. So I think what we will do in the lab session is we will just fix. We will do the first order, maybe second order, third order, or maybe directly we'll do the fourth order implementation of the Butterworth filter. We will select the cutoff frequency as 1 kilohertz, just so that and we will select, we know from design we have, we'll select capacitor as 1 microfarad, and we'll take the resistor as 160 ohms. This is what we get. And depending on the gain, we will select R1 and R2 based on the gain, based on the polynomial. And please, even though it looks very simple, it's going to be on Multisim Lite. And we also know how to implement the same in the transfer function in the Python. So today is